Hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. 1 second, let me just send the links on the group. I'm making you the host now. 1 second. Can you change your name to International Programs Committee, please? Why can I hear two of me? Can you hear two of me? It's lagging for me. I can hear my own voice. This is crazy. I can literally hear myself. Okay, stop. I can hear myself. And it's weird. How on earth? I can't mute. I can't mute the YouTube thing. Hi.
Hi. What the fuck? What just happened?
I can hear two of you.
Yeah.
See, I told you. Whenever it happens.
Oh,
Now I can hear me.
is it proper now? I think you can only hear me once now.
No.
Or twice?
It's echo.
It's probably because... Hold on. Hello? What the fuck?
Is this happening?
Let
Look
me...
at this is lagging. Oh my
Big
god, I
time.
should have wait.
The people in the waiting room.
There are?
Yeah.
Except for Rusha, don't admit like
Rushad and Sagar Mehta.
no, don't let Sagar Mehta in.
I'll just... Hold on. Yeah, now is it proper? Now I think you can only hear me once. Can you hear me?
I'm very confused because I can hear our previous conversation over and over.
What the fuck is going on? I switched off the computer audio from the other device.
Yeah, now I can hear one of you.
Yeah, it's perfect, right?
Yeah,
I
but
can hear.
I can hear our previous conversation too. And I can hear myself.
It's probably because of YouTube Live. It's probably because of that.
And I can hear you abuse over and over. Okay, stop it. This is very crazy.
Do we let people in?
Are you talking?
Do we let people in?
No, just let Rushad in.
Okay. Let me check the YouTube live though. It's proper. Your browser can't play this video. What the fuck?
Hi, Masumi. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you all?
Good morning. We're good.
Hi. Okay, so 1 minute. Let me just. How do I get the video? Am I visible? Yeah. All right. Hi. So I'm just waiting on a colleague of mine, Faiz. He'll be joining us. So mostly he will be presenting. He asked me that he wanted to speak with the students yesterday as well. So I said, no, not a problem. So we have a small presentation. It'll be generically about overseas education and how Times of India and Times Professional Learning can. And then at the same time, we'll provide some options as to, because of the pandemic that's going on, which are the most suitable countries you should be opting for right now, which ones you should avoid completely. And do we have any particular undergraduate or postgraduate students coming in? Like, are they from any particular field?
No. They're from all the fields.
From all, okay. So, but mostly business centric, or like there's going to be BMS, there's going to be hospitality and things like that as well.
So mainly like BMS and like BAF and BFM. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So no problem. So let's just wait for maybe another 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Masumi, you here?
Yes.
Do one thing. When you go to YouTube, there might be a lock sign beside the website.
I'm just joining in from another device because I'm so confused and I can't stand that I can hear myself over and over.
Yeah. Do that. It's fine.
What is...
Is anybody watching our live? watching our live?
I have no idea.
Listen.
Hmm.
From the same device only, go to the browser,
Huh.
like where the YouTube live is going on. Go over there.
I paused it, huh?
So you see where you have written the
Hey,
website.
hello, 6 people are watching it.
That's
Sorry.
fine. You see where the website is there on the top. Below, beside that, you see the lock sign.
I'm sorry, but there is no lock sign.
It's good.
And I'm getting a call. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello. Where's Rushad? Prem, let Rushad in. Wonderful.
Hi, Faiz. Good morning. Can you hear me, Faiz?
Hi, Rushad. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
You've got the Times Pro banner behind you. Great. Mine, unfortunately, is not working, so I have not got it.
That's okay.
Let me introduce to you 1 second. We have Masumi over here. Masumi, you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Masumi. So,
Hi, Masumi. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm actually just logging in from another device because we're planning to just put this live on YouTube. So just give me a minute.
no problem.
Yeah.
Faiz, I think we have Sushma also, who's going to be joining us just for a few minutes. She just wants to see what it's like. I think mostly then she'll log off after about 5-10 minutes.
Sure.
And
So before we begin, do share the host rights with me as well, Masumi, because I would
Yeah.
share my screen.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Prem, could you just do that?
I lost the audio. Can you repeat?
Yeah, could you just make Faiz, should I make you the host?
Yeah,
You're the
make Faiz the
co-host?
host.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, co-host will be fine.
Yes, Rushad and Faiz, I made you the co-host.
Yeah, great. I can see 14 people waiting in the waiting room.
So should we admit them now?
Yes, we'll do that.
All right, great. Also, Faiz, if you want, we'll wait for about a couple of minutes, maybe about another 5-6 minutes, and then we can start. I think.
Yeah, whenever you feel like we are ready to go. How much time do we have, Masumi?
I think we've got 1 hour. I had spoken to Dr. Chandni, who's the HOD. So she told me that somewhere between 11 and 12:15 is okay. I think that's sufficient time.
Sure. And before we begin, can somebody give me an idea as to, obviously there are students from the business background, but do we have students from the mass communication or other departments as well?
Just speaking
We
with
do have
Masumi, just 1 second. Yeah, go ahead, Masumi, tell him.
Yeah, so we do have, so majority of them are either management or accounting and finance students, but we do have a few from other backgrounds as well, like BMM and BVOC, that will be joining us.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So I think I'll wind up my presentation in 30 minutes and then we'll open the platform for question answers.
Okay.
And I'll actually like if there are more questions, if people have more queries, because that actually makes it more interactive and more fruitful for everybody.
Yes. So
So let us know, Masumi, when to start.
We'll just start in a couple of minutes. We'll just wait for everyone to
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
And I'll turn off my video because bandwidth could be an issue going forward. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Can somebody tell me if my screen is visible?
Yeah, Faiz, it's visible.
It is.
Hello, sir. When will you start the session?
We'll be starting in a minute or two.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the College Fair 2021. I'm Masumi and I'll be shadowing today's session. I would like to begin with giving a brief description about HR College. It is a premier autonomous institution that echoes the vision of Dr. Radhakrishnan when he said that India's futures will be shaped in her classrooms. At HR College, we're constantly committed to the pursuit of knowledge and value creation. It is run by the Hyderabad Sindh National Collegiate Board and is affiliated to the HSNC University. So today we have a counseling and guidance session that is being headed by the Times Group. On board, we have Faiz Ahmad, the relationship head at Times Professional Learning, and Mr. Rushrad, the business development manager at Times Professional Learning. So glad to have you on board. If you could just take over.
Thanks, Masumi. Thank you for inviting us for this wonderful session today. First of all, a happy new year to all. And it's actually an honor and a privilege to be interacting with students of the HR College, which is one of the most reputed and prestigious colleges, not just in Mumbai, but across India. As Masumi just briefed all of you that today's session will be on career and guidance, and specifically towards the overseas education. And we'll not just focus on the academic part today, we'll actually talk also about the subsequent employment opportunities that you can look at after finishing your programs in any of the country that you choose to. And we will also discuss how you can actually fund your studies through different ways, how you can actually get scholarships from different universities, what are the ways to get those scholarships, and we will also discuss a few things about how to get admissions in the top universities across the globe. So before we begin, I'll like to introduce my organization that I work with. So as Masumi told all of you, I work with the Times Professional Learning. I am the relationship head over there for the overseas education. We are part of the Times of India group. As a group, we are quite old. Everybody knows us. Almost everybody knows us in India. But the education vertical, which is called Times Pro, it was established in 2013, and it is a full-time education arm under the aegis of the Times Group. And about 3 years ago, in 2018, we started helping students with their overseas education aspirations. So whichever country you might plan to go to, for whatever course you have in mind, we will help you from start to finish. And most of our services are free of cost. And we do have our base in Mumbai, and we'll inform you how you can get in touch with us for any further individual sessions if you want to have with us. This is a small section on the Times Group, which we are part of. It's more than 180 years old. The largest media conglomerate, not just in India, but globally in terms of circulation, in terms of revenue that we generate annually. We are known primarily for publications and the media industry, but we are not limited to only that. We also have very strong hold on the education sector as well. We have our own university named Bennett University, which is based in Delhi NCR. To be specific, it's in Greater Noida. And we also keep coming up with initiatives like Teach India, Lead India, Young Leaders, which I'm sure you must have seen the advertisements in various newspapers, and you can also be a part of such initiatives and help the community at large. And where I am based is this particular company, TPL, Times Pro, which is doing a lot of things for students. But for you to be specific, we will be helping you out with your overseas education plans. Now, when it comes to study abroad, there are so many things that come in our minds. Uh, what to study, where to study, how should we go about our processes, uh, how much will it cost for us to go out and study, who can help me in the entire process, where should I go and study, and when should I start with my application process, which all exams do I have to give, how much scores would be required for my dream course, my dream university. So some of these basic questions come in our minds, and we will discuss that. Uh, Before you plan on any country or any university, it is important that you identify which could be the suitable courses for you. Uh, and it could be dependent on various parameters. It could be dependent on your own interest. It could be dependent on what you've studied earlier. It could depend on what you want to do eventually in your career as a professional. It could also depend on your academic grades. You might want to do something, but your academics may not allow you to actually get into that program because of certain requirements that this program might have. So we will discuss that. And when we discuss about courses, let's first discuss the advantages of going and studying abroad. Obviously, there are so many wide range of courses available that one can look at. When we compare this with India at the master's level, you would have MBA for sure that you can go out and pursue. Apart from MBA, from your own discipline, you can go out and do maybe an MA in economics. You can go out and do an MCOM. You can go out and do a few programs in mass communication from various institutions. Uh, but if I were to give you an idea about how you can actually go out and look at different other programs within these domains, for example, let's talk about digital communication. I don't think such programs would be available very widely in India. You look at programs which are specialized in supply chain and logistics. You will not find such programs very easily available in India. You will find maybe MBA in operations management as a program, as a specialization. But if you were to look at a program which would give you a further specialization in something, that would be very difficult for you to find here in India. So overseas actually gives you that flexibility wherein you can choose from wide area of options that are available to students. uh, Cutting edge curriculum, that is one big factor which associates with overseas education. Mostly the curriculum and the syllabus that is taught in the universities gets upgraded every 3 years or 4 years. That happens because the universities work in very close collaboration with industry. They keep taking the feedback, the input from the industry as to what are the trends that are happening out there in the world, how we can prepare the students to be ready for the corporate world, how they can come and start contributing from day one. So that feedback, when it comes to the academia, that this is what we are doing and this is what we need your students to be, that helps them to actually uh, train those students accordingly, and the employability then does not becomes an issue at all. Uh, Now, for you to be a good student, to be a good learner, it is important that you have a good trainer and good facilities. And all these universities, they have very stringent selection procedures for the faculty, especially for business and management programs. Uh, Obviously, they need people who have done research, who got publications in various international journals, but they also need, in fact, they make it a condition that the aspiring or the prospective faculty should have also worked in the industry in the same field for at least 5-10 years. So when they come and teach you, they're not just teaching you the theory or the textbook. They are also going to give the inputs from what they've observed in their real life as a professional. I can see some questions coming in. So keep typing in your questions. I will take it up towards the end of the presentation. We will have a good enough time in our hands to get through those question answers. But I'll encourage you to please put in more and more questions. A very exciting teaching pedagogy. I'm sure in HR college also you must be having a very dynamic pedagogy. It's not just dependent on the annual exams and your performance in that or the semester exams. So while you are over there and studying, you will be given different assignments. You will be working on case studies. You'll be working on presentations. There would be weekly quizzes, and also how you are participating in the classroom also matters a lot. Are you asking questions from the faculty? Are you answering the questions that the faculty is asking? So all that is taken into account. And in your final assessment, which comes out from the university, all these factors have different weightages, which then give you a final picture of how you perform in that particular program. So what it makes you is it makes you proactive. It makes you a quick learner, and it also encourages you to be a dynamic learner, not just focusing on the books, but on other aspects as well. Huge range of sports and extracurricular. That is obvious. If you are somebody who likes to play sports or who's interested in some cultural activities or literary activities, you would have good facilities. All the universities have different clubs which you can identify and can be a part of. And most universities will have the Indian society as well, for which you can enroll for. And also there would be leadership positions which you can go ahead and apply for. And the biggest factor is that there are so many countries which will allow you to stay back in that country between 1 to 3 years. It will depend on the course and the country that you are applying to. And this duration between 1 to 3 years is after you finish the program, wherein you can actually work full time, and further on you can extend your stay and apply for the PR also. So we will discuss this also in our coming slides. So I hope the question, why should we apply for abroad education, is clear to some extent. Now coming back to my earlier thing, which I was discussing about what kind of courses can we go ahead and apply. Now, so as a student who is studying say media courses or journalism courses or business or management courses, it is quite obvious that one of the very logical choices that you can make is go ahead and do an MBA. Now it's a different thing whether you do it right now after your graduation, or you get into a job or into a business, and then after 3, 4, 5, whatever time, you do an MBA. So that is something which anybody can do. MBA does not need a particular discipline that you studied in the graduation. Anybody can go out and do that MBA. I will not discuss MBA at all. What I would discuss is the courses which you can pursue based on what you're studying right now, which are also linked to the skilled areas in different countries. So if I go country-wise, so the list would be more than 1,000 plus. Within those 1,000 plus professions or courses, for you would be around 200, 300 plus. So I've kind of categorized them into different courses that you can pursue at the master's level. And these need not be studied through an MBA route. These courses can be studied through a degree title called like MA Finance or MSc Finance as well. And so I'll tell you how this concept works. So you can go ahead and do an MBA in finance. You can go ahead and do MBA in marketing or MBA in operations or MBA in HR. Now, when you want to do an MBA from an overseas university, there would be two kinds of MBAs. One would be an MBA for freshers, for somebody like who's a student like you right now and intends to do an MBA soon after the graduation. So there would be that kind of universities which will accept the freshers. And then there would be universities which are slightly more reputed, slightly higher ranked, and have higher entry requirements. They would ask you to have worked for at least 3 years in the managerial role. And they will also need you to write a GMAT and get a good score on GMAT. Different universities will ask for different scores, maybe 600, 650, 700, depending on the ranking and the quality of the institution. Now, if you are aspiring for a very good university and you want to do a program, say in project management, or you want to do something in finance, or you want to do something in HR, or you want to do an MIS program. So one route is to maybe wait for that 5 years, 6 years duration, work in some company at a managerial role, leadership role, write a GMAT, and then go ahead and take admission in the MBA program in that university. Or the second route could be go for a specialized master's program in the same discipline in which you want to specialize: finance, marketing, HR, MIS, operations, anything within management that you want to specialize in. As a fresher itself, you can be admitted as a fresher in these courses, and also without having to appear for a GMAT. So that is a flexibility and option that all these universities provide you, which actually is also accepted by the industry. In fact, if you were to ask me, industries will prefer an MSc student more than an MBA student, because MBA is something that anybody can do, and a lot of people do an MBA. But these specialized programs, like all these that are listed here, are the ones which are intensive in nature. The focus from day one is on these areas itself, and your learning as a professional or as a graduate is more when you do such programs. So all these courses that you see here, these are the courses which are linked to skilled areas in different countries, which means that if you are doing a program in any of these disciplines, and this list is not just limited to these courses only, there are a lot more other courses also that you can look at. But what what I'm trying to say here is that if you do any of these programs, the corresponding careers or the professions are listed in the skilled areas, which means that different countries need professionals in those areas. They don't have the resources, the manpower, which can help out in these areas in those countries. So when you do these courses, what it means is your employability will be very high, your salaries will be higher on as compared to average salaries, and you also get extra PR points. So going forward, if you want to settle down in that country, if you want to apply for PR, you get that benefit of having earned the extra PR points because you're working in an area which is identified by the government as a skill shortage area. So I hope this makes sense to you. Some of you would have already thought of doing these programs, be it in India, be it abroad. But if you are planning to go ahead and do your masters, please do look at these courses, because this is what will help you in finding employment quickly and in a better way in these countries. Now, the next question comes, I've identified my course. Now, where should I go and study? So these are some of the choices based on the current pandemic situation. A few countries are still closed. They've not opened up the borders, like Australia and New Zealand. They're still closed. But there are other countries also which are accepting international students. They have opened up the borders, and students can travel and go ahead and join that particular country. Now, the universities may or may not be doing the physical classes right now, but at least that factor of traveling to the home country of the university is open, like UK has now opened up. Not opened up in the sense that the borders are still closed. Sorry, the borders have opened up. You can travel to UK, but the universities are shut for physical classes till 15th February. So even if you go now to UK, you will have to wait till 15th February for the universities to open and do the classes normally. Right now, you will have to do online classes. One very good option that you should consider is Germany. Germany has some of the very good universities in the globe, and the best thing about Germany is if you get into public universities, in most cases you will get free education, which means there is no tuition fees that you have to pay. You only have to incur the living expenses. Do look at Germany as an option. And if you are looking to do an MBA, that is what you aspire to do eventually. So there is something called Triple Crown universities or Triple Crown business schools. Now, when I say Triple Crown, what it means is that look out for the universities or the business schools which have triple accreditations, like the accreditation of AMBA. Look out for AACSB, and look out for AQUIS. So if any university has all these three accreditations for their business school, you can close your eyes and blindly go ahead and join that university if you get the chance, because that means that that university is part of only 94 universities across the globe which have all these three accreditations. India has only one such institution, which is IIM Calcutta. No other institution has all these three accreditations, and this is like the gold standard of quality for management education. Do look out for these accreditations if you want to go ahead and do an MBA. Next thing that comes to the mind is how much will it cost me?
Voice is cracking.
Sorry, somebody was saying something.
Your voice is cracking.
Okay. I'll try to be clear to the microphone. Hope it's better now.
It's not cracking for us, ma'am. Why don't you just rejoin? You'll be able to hear.
Now, how do you get through into these kinds of universities? So it's a very standard admission process and documentation for most countries. You will need to submit your academic scores, 10th, 12th, and graduation mark sheets. Some universities might ask you to submit the transcripts also, which you will get from your college or the university. That is on request. They don't give you that automatically. So academics and transcripts are required for sure. Now, right now, if you're in your final year and if you want to apply, you can very well do that. You don't have to wait for the results to come out. If you are meeting all other entry requirements, the universities will give you a conditional offer, and they will mention how many marks or what kind of grades they are expecting eventually from your graduation, and you need to get at least those grades or those percentages. If you get those percentages, your offer becomes unconditional and you can go ahead and file for the visa. The second important aspect is the test scores. Now, there are two kinds of tests that you might be required to appear for. One is an English proficiency exam. Now, many universities might waive off the English proficiency requirement if you have studied in an English medium school. Most likely, if you've studied from CBSE or ICSE or even an IB board, or if you've studied your graduation from an English medium institution. So you need to get that letter from the college, the letter of the medium of instruction letter, and most universities will accept that. And the advantage with you guys is you are based in Mumbai. Mumbai is not red flagged for any reasons by any country, any university. Punjab is, Gujarat is, Haryana is. So those people have to face additional scrutiny in their documentation, but you guys would not have to. So you can request for the waiver. We can help you with that. So IELTS will not be mandatory for all. It might be required by some universities for sure. And the second category of test scores could be the standardized tests, like a GRE or a GMAT. Now, if you are going for a fresher MBA, then don't go for GMAT, because any university who asks for GMAT will also ask for work experience. So it's never one thing only that would be required. So work experience and GMAT, they both go hand in hand. And for some programs, like if you want to do it from US, you want to do a master's in finance or master's in economics or any other program, data analytics, business analytics, or MIS, anything. In that case, you will be required to appear for GRE. Now, do check before you start preparing for any of these exams as to which one is required and whether it is mandatory or not. Now, both these exam scores are valid theoretically for 5 years. You can take the exam this year in 2021, and the results will be valid and accepted by the universities for 5 years. But most universities will not accept scores which are older than 3 years. So that is how those universities look at the GRE and GMAT scores. So if you are planning to do your MBA or your master's after 2 years, 3 years from now, you can very well take the exam now, and then submit those scores to the universities and get the admissions. Why I'm suggesting you to take the tests now, because right now you are in that frame wherein you are studying. You are used to that schedule wherein you have to sit in the classroom or sit across a faculty and understand concepts and apply that to a particular question paper. Once you start working, your mindset changes completely, and then coming back to academics becomes a bit difficult. It's not impossible, but it takes time to adjust to that mental framework again. So if you can, and if it's really important for you to give GRE or GMAT, you can take that right now, very much. Passport is required. If you have not got your passport as yet and you want to go ahead to apply to any of these universities, even for these exams, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE or GMAT or a PT, passport is required. Passport, in fact, is the only document, identification document, which is accepted by these examining bodies. Then the next critical document, one of the very important part of your application, is the SOP, Statement of Purpose. Now, this particular component can actually make or break your application. This is how critical it is. Statement of purpose, I'm sure a lot of you would know already, but just to give you a brief, this is an essay wherein you describe yourself, you describe why you chose this course, you describe how this will help you in your future, what are your career objectives, why do you want to do this from XYZ university, and why from this country. So this needs to be original, no need to copy paste. You can go and look at some samples for your reference, but please do not copy paste. Universities have ways and mechanisms to identify whether you've copied it from some source or not. And believe me, if you have copied it or if they sense plagiarism in this, they will reject your application. So there are guidelines, there are templates which we can help you with. We can help you with the editing of the SOPs as well. And we will make sure that your SOP is as strong as possible before it goes to the university. Then the other documentation which is required by most universities, most countries is the LORs, letter of recommendation. Just give me a minute. Sorry guys, I'm back. Yeah, so letter of recommendations is what is meant by the LORs. There are two ways in which you can get these LORs. One is the physical copies on the letterheads from the faculty. Now, since the pandemic has hit all of us, the universities have become flexible and they're not rigid on asking for those physical letters. They understand that the universities and the colleges are closed. You can't meet the faculty easily. So they are fine if you even provide them with the names, the designation, and the contact details of the faculty or the referee that you want them to connect with. So you ideally need 2 LORs. In case of US, you might be required to submit 3 LORs or the details of 3 referees. Now, if it's an electronic request that is being submitted to the university, then the university will send a mail to these referees that you submitted the details for, and they would get a particular duration in which they need to revert. And please make sure that the referees that you identify for yourself are accessible and are technologically friendly. They should be able to open up the mails and respond in as short a time as possible. Otherwise, your application again will be put on hold if they don't get the responses in time. For master's courses, most universities will require a resume, and different countries would have different formats. For example, Germany has its own format in which they want your resume to be. US has a different format wherein they would accept your resume. So we can help you with this for sure. And if you want to apply once you've got into the industry, you are working, so your work experience details will be required. So any gap in your academics needs to be accounted for. Up to 1 year is not required to be justified with documents, but more than that, you will need to give documentary proof for any gap that you might have. Moving forward. Now, the very critical thing is the expenses, the tuition fees and the living expenses that one has to incur. Now, the first thing that everybody thinks about overseas education is that it's very expensive. No doubt it's expensive, no two ways about that. But there are so many options, so many countries, so many universities which are very affordable. And the tuition fees can start from as low as 7 to 8 lakh rupees per year. And it can also go up to 22 lakh rupees per year as well. That will all depend on the program that you choose. It depends on the university, and it also depends on the country. But if the budget is a criteria that you are looking at very critically, and you want options within a particular tuition fees and a particular budget, we can help you with that. There are options for students who are looking at affordable options as well. So please don't worry about the expenses part. There are ways through which you can take care of the expenses. Even if the tuition fees is high, say it's 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs rupees per year, there are ways to fund those. You can look at scholarships. Now, different scholarships are available for students. There are scholarships by the government. The government of India has about 3-4 schemes running for different kinds of students. I know for sure there is a scholarship for girl students from India who want to go ahead and study overseas. Please do look out for that on the website. There are scholarships by various philanthropic organizations. I will mention these in the coming slide. Then there are scholarships which are offered by the universities themselves. In most cases, these scholarships are automatic. You don't have to apply separately. Once you apply for the admissions, the universities look at your profile. They look at how meritorious you are, and if you shine through, and if your profile comes across as very strong, the universities will automatically grant you a scholarship. It could be as low as $2,000 or £2,000 or €2,000, and it can go as high as 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 euros, pounds, or dollars, depending on where that country the university is. The currency will vary. But good scholarships are offered by the universities, and then there are departmental scholarships also. Within the university, different faculty, different departments may have their own budgets that they have put aside for scholarships, and you can apply for that as well. We can help you with what all scholarships are available. Do get in touch with us for that. Now, coming back to that philanthropic organizations which are offering scholarships, these are some names which you can look at. Now, each of these scholarships have their own requirements, their own deadlines, and some scholarships could be course specific as well and country specific also. Like, for example, Commonwealth Scholarship is primarily for students from India who want to go ahead and do a master's course in UK. So if you are planning to go to UK in the near future, do look at the Commonwealth Scholarship. These are all merit based, no need based at all. So if you are a good student, a bright student, dynamic student, do take your chances, do apply. But in most cases, the requirement to apply for these scholarships would be to have an offer letter from the university first. So it is important that you apply well in advance to the university first, and then you use that offer letter to apply for these scholarships. You can look at the Chevening scholarships. You can look at Fulbright Nehru scholarship. This is for US. You can look at Felix scholarships, Inlex Shiv Dasani Foundation, Tata scholarship, Australia Award scholarship. This is for studies in Australia. And then you can also look at Aga Khan Foundation International Scholarship. This is not the complete list of scholarships available. There are so many more which are available, but this is just to give you an idea that there are various funding organizations which are helping Indian students to get that funding which they require. Now, in some cases, these foundations will offer you 50% of the scholarship on the tuition fees. Some might offer you a full funding. Some might offer you a part funding on the tuition fees. But options are available. What I'm trying to tell you is please explore. Don't think and make your mind that this is expensive, not in my budget, and I'm not going to go ahead with that. There are ways to fund your studies. One is through scholarships, obviously, and second is through the part-time jobs, which you can do while you're studying. Most countries, almost all countries except Singapore, they allow you to work part-time while you are studying. And during the holidays, during the vacations, when the universities are closed for academic purposes, in those times you can work full-time, which is 40 hours per week. Now, the suggestion is, please, if you're going ahead and studying abroad, please don't go looking for the part-time jobs from day one. Give yourself time, get accustomed to the new environment, the new education system, understand the workload of the program, identify your free hours during the week that you are available with. Also understand how the city is designed, the ways across the city, how you are placed, how far is your home from, or your accommodation from the university, and how far would your potential workplace be from your accommodation and your university. Identify all that, give yourself maybe 2-3 months time, and then start working part-time. And part-time jobs can subsidize a lot of your living expenses, believe me. But don't go with that mindset that you have to earn money through part-time jobs. Your primary objective is to study, is to get that knowledge, get that skill level up. Focus on that first. And if you are getting free time after that and you are going to manage everything, then go and do part-time jobs. But this option is available to you. The third way to fund your studies could be applying for an education loan. Most universities that you're talking about, be it in US, be it in UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Dubai, Singapore, Germany, most universities are uh, under that approved list by the banks in India. And if you apply for a bank loan, education loan, you will get it approved provided you have the required financial documents which the bank might need. And different banks would have different criterias. They would look at your credit history, they would look at your repayment capability, they would look at the household income, they would look at whether you have some ongoing loans or not. So they look at all those parameters. But in terms of the requirements from the university, you only need to provide the offer letter, which you will get ideally from 2 to 3 weeks after applying in most cases. And that would suffice as far as the university is concerned. The other parameter would be your own personal and family financial information, which the bank would ask for. And based on that, they would decide whether to give you a loan or not, and if yes, how much amount can they sanction for you. Now, the one thing, if I go back and talk about the application process and the documentation, so I'll relate it to the next slide, which I'm going to show you, which is about the admission intakes as to when does the session start in different countries. Now, you would see that the major intake in most countries is around September, October. But the applications and the admission process starts a year in advance. So right now, if you're in the final year and if you want to start your post-grad in the month of September, October this year, the applications for those programs have already started. So in some cases, some universities, the deadlines may have also passed in the last few months. And some programs which are very popular, they get closed very quickly by December, January itself. So if you are planning to go abroad, if you want to apply to your dream courses, dream universities, don't wait, get in touch with us and we will help you with all the documentation, with the shortlisting and with the entire process. So if you look at it, most countries would have 2 or more than 2 intakes, which means that for whatever reasons, if you miss out on the primary intake, which is the September, October, for example, say the exams happened late and your results came out late, and by that time you were not able to file for the visa. That could be one reason. Second could be you applied for a bank loan, but you didn't get that in time, and then the time elapsed for you to travel to that country. Third reason could be the visa documentation were not ready in time, or you got a backlog in your final semester and now you have to wait for some time, or you applied for improvement. So many factors could come in, family reasons could come in, and you were not able to travel in the main intake. It does not mean that you have to wait now for one entire year. No. As you can see, most countries have multiple intakes, and these intakes are actually 3 or 4 months away from each other. So you don't need to take that forced break, forced gap. You can very well continue with your original plan and go ahead and join the universities and your original program in 3 to 4 months time as well. So this is the kind of flexibility that is available through the overseas education. And as I said in the beginning, the admission time is on. Don't delay, because if you delay it further, the options that you can look at will reduce. And this slide talks about what exams might be required for you to be appeared for. So when you look at it, don't look at the second column, which talks about the UG. This is undergrad, not relevant for you. So this third and the fourth column is what is important, PG and the MBA programs. Now, English proficiency is one which is universally required by all countries. US will accept TOEFL, but they also accept IELTS, so that's not constraint anymore. Whichever exam you've given in the first place will be accepted everywhere. UK also accepts TOEFL, so that is okay. So IELTS or TOEFL for sure is required. And then, as I said in the beginning, depending on the program that you choose at the postgrad level, especially in US, you will be required to give either a GMAT or a GRE. Now in UK also, in fact, not just in UK, but in the top universities across the globe, even in India, like the ISBs and the IIMs, GMAT is an exam which is accepted by them all. So GMAT, if you are giving, then you are obviously trying to target the top universities. But as I said, only GMAT is not the requirement. You also would be required to furnish 3 to 5 years of managerial experience. Both things go hand in hand. And GRE would be required for a few master's courses in USA, also in Canada for some top universities like University of Alberta, University of Toronto, British Columbia, McGill, Queens. So all these universities, if you are applying for, say, a program in MSc Finance, they would require you to appear for a GRE. And as I said, scores are valid for 5 years, but don't submit scores which are older than 3 years. And GRE and GMAT both are computer-based exams, not paper-based anymore. And these exams actually happen on a daily basis. So you can, based on your preparation and your comfort, you can go ahead and register yourself for the exam. Look at the available dates in your city and book the date and go ahead and give the exam. So there is no nothing like CAT or ZAT or some those exams wherein this exam only happens once. Nothing like that. GRE and GMAT happens throughout the year, and you can give these exams 5 times in a year as well. So in the first attempt, if you don't score good enough, no need to worry. You can reappear. Obviously, there would be an application fees that you'll have to pay for, but otherwise, no issues at all. You can go ahead and give any of these exams. Any times you want to give, that is okay. And this brings us to the end. These are our details. My colleague Rushad is here. He's based in Mumbai. He's the one who actually has arranged all this after collaborating with the organizing committee. You can note down our numbers, our email ID. You can get in touch with us. And we'll open the platform now for the question answers. Masumi, can you help me with the questions, please?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So, just a second. Yeah, we have someone that has asked, is there any way that you will be able to help them out for going abroad?
Yeah, so as I've said throughout the presentation and also in the beginning, we will help you with the entire process, right from the point wherein you are not sure about which program to go ahead and pursue, which country, which university. Also, we will help you with all the documentation. When do the universities start accepting applications? What are the deadlines? Helping you with the tests, the exams, helping you with getting the offers from the university, helping you with the visa process, with accommodation, with forex, with education loan. So whatever might be required for you to get through into that university, we will help you with each and every step.
So in terms of financial aid as well, like preparing for loans and all along with that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We do work with various banks which have collaborated with us, wherein if we kind of recommend a student to them, they look at that case differently. And in most cases, the bank loan is sanctioned. But as I said, the personal financial capability of a student and the family is also very critical. So that can't be compromised by the bank. But we can help with the ways and the steps that one should take care of when they apply for the bank loans.
Okay.
And obviously, the scholarships, we will help you with everything in that.
All right. Thank you. So you did cover this. One of them has asked that can we do our postgrad and also work side by side in abroad? So you did cover that.
Yeah, in fact, related to that, I forgot, and thank you for the question that this person has asked. I don't know the name. But apart from the part-time jobs, there are courses like in Canada. You can go out and do a program which is called a co-op program. Now, co-op means that there would be an industry project or an industry exposure inbuilt in the program, which could last up to a semester or 2 semesters also. And when you go and do a co-op program, you can be rest assured that you will also get a stipend, a very handsome stipend. So that helps you not just get that money part, but also helps you to get the first-hand experience of how the industry works in that country, getting to know people in the corporate world, getting to know your supervisors, and if you perform well in that 1 semester or 2 semesters duration that you get, they might very well give you the job also after you graduate. So that is one option that you can look at if you are looking for those inbuilt programs which have the work component also. That would be in Canada. And the second country that offers you a similar thing would be UK, the United Kingdom. Now, most business and management programs, they have a concept called wherein you would know, most of you, that in UK the master's courses are 1 year in duration. Okay, you study for 12 months and you get your master's degrees. Now, UK, there are so many universities which offer you programs which have a placement year or an internship year embedded with the program. So what happens in that case is your course becomes 2 years in duration. The first year is the classroom program that all of you would study, and the second year is kind of an internship or working on a project with a company. And you might get paid, you might not get paid. That all depends on uh, the kind of project you're working on and the kind of value you are adding. But even if you're not getting paid, it's a very good way to get that experience and increase your employability. Now, while you are working in that year, which is your placement year or your internship year, you don't have to pay any tuition fees to the university. It's just a particular, I think, 700 or 800 pounds that you have to pay to the university for that uh, facilitation. Otherwise, nothing else. You only just have to take care of the living expenses. So a lot of students from India who are looking at business management or marketing programs, they go ahead and join such programs. So good that you brought up this thing, and it struck my mind that I should tell you these things also.
Yeah. So one of them was asking if it's necessary for them to appear for a GMAT exam in order to study abroad.
So I think I've answered this during my
Yes.
presentation, but just to answer it once more, as I said, GMAT, you can give it now, right now as well, in your first year, second year, third year of your graduation. No issues in that, because the GMAT exam is valid for 5 years. But don't submit your scores which are older than 3 years, because most universities won't accept that, because the GMAT and the GRE exams, they keep evolving every 2 years, 3 years. So these scores which are 5 years or maybe 4 years old, they may not be in sync with what is happening in the exams right now. So they won't accept it. Secondly, as I said, GMAT is not the only criteria by the universities. The work experience is also required. So look at that factor. And if you're looking at pursuing a master's course from US, GRE for sure will be required. Right now, some universities have given a flexibility wherein they don't need you to appear for GRE before you apply. You can join the university, and in your first or second semester, you can give the GRE from US itself, get the required score, and submit to the university. That flexibility is available. But yes, GRE would be required at some point in time for US, and for some universities like LSE or Warwick or Imperial in UK as well.
How many years of experience is required, like a base number of years that's required in order to pursue an MBA?
Okay, so as I said, you can go ahead and apply for a university which does not need any experience. That is called a fresher MBA. There are a lot of options available. But when it comes to the requirement wherein it's mandatory to have work experience, it could be as low as 2 years of work experience. And it could also be as specific as 5 years, 6 years of managerial experience.
Okay.
So if you have not worked as a team leader or as an assistant manager or as a manager, that won't be counted. So all the work that you've worked, wherein you have handled teams, you've taken decisions for your organization, wherein people have depended on you, only that duration is counted in a few universities. So all that varies, but yes, if the work experience is a requirement, then at least 2 years will be required for sure. And also, as a student, If you have not worked for at least 2 years, you will not understand how the practical world works. You will not be able to relate the theory with the industry. Masubi, just give me a minute. I'll be back. Just give me a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I think there was some background noise which was going along with what my talking. So I
No
just
worries.
went ahead and slowed that down. Yep. So as I said, 2 years at least is required, and if you don't work for 2 years, also as a professional, you will not have much to contribute either in the classroom or in the industry. So if you are working, then go ahead and work for at least 3-4 years, and then look for your higher education.
Alright. So someone was asking for like a brief insight about what exactly is the statement of purpose.
Okay, so statement of purpose is an essay wherein you describe a lot of things to the university. See, university does not know you. They only look at your documents, they look at your resume, but they don't get to know what XYZ person is. What is the thought process? Where have they come from? What do they want to do? Why did they choose this particular subject in graduation, and why now they want to do something in their post graduation? So your statement of purpose tells the university a lot of things about you. For example, you tell them your background to some extent. You tell them why you chose to do graduation in a particular field. For example, if somebody is doing BMS, or if somebody is doing economics, or somebody is doing mass media, why did you choose that program? What was that thing which excited you, which attracted you to do graduation in that domain? So that choice, that logic which attracted you has to be explained. What do you want to do in life as a professional in your career? How doing a program at the master's level which you have chosen will help you achieve that career objective? You have to relate both uh, your studies and your uh, career goals. Then why do you want to study from our university? There are hundreds of other options. Why not go to that university? Why come to us? And why from, say, US? Why not from Australia? Why not from Canada? Why not from UK? You have to just explain everything to the university. You have to convince them, and also in that you can describe your achievements, your leadership qualities, your extracurricular activities. You can tell them anything that you've done as you know as a community service work. You can tell them about the internships that you have done. You can tell them about the projects that you worked upon. You can tell them about different conferences, symposiums that you have organized or participated in. So it gives you a platform to tell them things which are not there in your mark sheet or in your resume. You can describe that very in a very good manner through your SOP. And as I said, SOP can make or break your application. So just to tell you how important this is, imagine there is a university which now has only one seat left, and there are two applications which they are assessing. Now, it could be a possibility that their academics are same. It could be a possibility that their GRE or GMAT scores are the same. It could be a possibility that both students are very good. They have done a lot of extracurricular activities. Now, what is that thing that they look at and decide which one to accept and which one to reject? They will look at the SOP. So SOP becomes the tiebreaker. And the stronger SOP, the SOP which excites them, will be accepted, and the other one will be rejected by the university. This is how critical the SOP is.
Um, okay, thank you so much. So there's another question by one of our students who intends to study in either America or Canada and is looking out for postgraduate courses where the requirement for American and Canadian universities is basically the 12+4 education system. And since we do study under the Mumbai University, we have a 12+2 education. So they're asking what would be an ideal option for like the 1-year education, either another degree or a diploma.
Okay, so there are ways to overcome that. Okay, is it 12+2 or 12+3 in HR
12
college?
plus 3, 3.
3, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So So how it works is in US over the years, a lot universities are accepting students from India with 15 years of education, which is 12 plus 3. Now, for you to be accepted by the universities in US with 12 plus 3 education system, you need to have studied from a university or an institution which is NAC A accredited, and you should have got at least a first division in that. Now, Mumbai University is one of the premier universities in India, no doubt about that. It is listed among the category A institutions in India. So that NAC accreditation part is taken care of. Now you need to have those required grades. So if you get 60% or more in your graduation, your degree would be considered equivalent to a 4 years undergraduate degree in US. That is one way. Second is there are bodies which would compare your degree with the home country qualifications and give you an assessment whether your degrees are uh, comparable to the degrees in US or not. Like for example, there is a body called WES. You can go ahead and get a WES evaluation done on your degree, and they will take about 20 working days, and they will give you an indication whether your degrees would be accepted in US or in Canada as equivalent to the undergrad degree over there in those countries. But don't worry, there are so many universities, so many universities in both US and Canada, which are accepting 3 years undergraduate degree from India. Now, in case you want to go to a university which is not accepting your 3 years undergrad degree at all, the way to overcome that is to either do a 1 year diploma from India. Uh, that would suffice for that gap, or you enroll yourself in a master's course here in India, finish that, submit that along with your graduation, and you will then meet that expectation of 16 years education. Some students think that only completing 1 year master's degree will suffice. No, it won't. You have to complete the degree. The first year mark sheet will not suffice. Both first year and second year master's degree mark sheets would be required. But if you enroll for a diploma which is AICTE or UGC approved, it's a 1 year diploma, that is okay. You need to complete that. So that can also suffice. So there are different ways in which you can counter this particular requirement by US and Canadian university.
Okay. So a few of our F1s were just asking, since they are in their first year, how exactly should they be preparing in order, if they're planning to study abroad?
So if you are in your first year or in your second year, please focus on the academics. That is one critical thing. They don't look at only the grades that you've got in your 10th, 12th, and graduation. They also look at the consistency. That's one important thing that you should consider. So even if you are a person who's got 65, 70% only in 10th and 12th, try to maintain that in your graduation as well. So the consistency stands out. That's very important. Work on your extracurricular activities. Since you are in first year or in the second year, you still have time to go out and participate in lots of contests, lots of competitions, do internships. Even if it's not part of the program, you go out and do internships in your winter vacations, in your summer vacations, take up live projects with industries, participate in conferences, participate in seminars, identify which is the area within your studies that interests you, which areas are the ones wherein you will like to go out and do your masters or you want to specialize in, or which area do you see as a profession for yourself, and do take up some projects, some internships in that area, so that you then are sure before you take up that course whether you really want to go ahead and do that program in that or not. Take up roles in different societies that the college has, do some leadership roles, do some community service. That is very important. It could be through being an NSS cadet, it could be being a scout, boy scout or a girl scout, it could be being a part of the civil defense, it could be being a part of the NDMA, or maybe working with an NGO. So any community service that you do actually uh, is valued a lot by all the universities globally. So these are the ways in which you can work upon your profile and impress the university.
Okay. Um, So one of our other questions is, if taking a master's course, is GMAT and work experience required?
For MBA. This is for MBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So for
master's
a
courses,
master's,
like
it's not required.
no, for an MSc program or an MA program,
Yeah.
this is not required at all.
Okay. If the master's fee is more than $50K dollars, can we get a complete student loan?
Yes, very well, you can get that. There are not just loans, sorry, not just banks, but there are new financial organizations that have come up, the NBFCs, non-banking financial organizations, companies, which are investing on the student. So if you get through to, say, a top 100 universities in the globe, according to a particular ranking system, so there are organizations that will fund your entire studies. They will not even ask for the collateral. They will not ask for the mortgage. So what they know for sure is that if you get into a particular kind of university, which they have enlisted already, and if they feel that you are going to that kind of university, they will invest in you. They know that once you come out, you will be a standout product, which will not need any further push into the industry. You will work your way out, and you will move up the hierarchy of the management. And you'll earn good salary. So they invest on the degree that you're going to get, and they invest on you as an individual. So not just the proper financial instruments like the banks, you can also apply for loans through these NBFCs as well. So whatever the fees, be it 20K, be it 50K, be it 35K, whatever the fees is, you can get full funding as well, in the sense that you can apply for a full fees, full tuition fees loan. That is very well possible.
Great. Also, one of our students is appearing for her CFA exams, and she was wondering if that increases her possibility to get accepted into a master's program.
Yes, it could help a lot, not just for the academic purposes, but also for employability purposes. And some universities might also give you some credit exemptions as well, meaning the depending on how many levels of CFA you've passed, the universities might tell you to maybe you have to earn, say, 180 credits to get your master's degree. They would say that 30 credits or 60 credits are already done by you through the CFA. You only need to do 120 credits. So that would mean is that the duration would decrease, and also the tuition fees will decrease for you. So yes, CFA will help. Not just CFA, but even if you are doing any other, say, company secretary or a CA thing here in India, all that would help, or an ACC also. Hello. Hello, Masumi, can you hear me? Hello, Rushad, am I audible?
Hi, Faiz. Yeah, you're audible. I think she's just maybe experiencing some network issue. Let me
Okay.
just check there any other questions. I think that was the last one. If any of the students have any other queries or doubts, you could just enter them right now. We can have, we'll be on call for the next maybe 5-10 minutes. Otherwise, I think we can end the session over here.
Yeah, anybody who has any other areas to touch upon which you feel we've missed out, please feel free to
Students,
ask
if you
us.
have any other queries, please pitch in. We will not be waiting endlessly for you. I think Masumi must be experiencing some issues. So she may have gone mute. Yeah. Anyone has any problems? Any other question you want to ask the speakers? Because I found it a wonderful session and very informative.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you for doing that for our students. If they are able to take this through, then they should start planning well in advance. And you've outlined that very well for them. So students, any other query you have?
I think Khushi has put in a query right now. First thing we have to do to start the process of going abroad for PG. So the first thing is to identify what course you want to pursue. And also at what time are you starting your research? So if you are in your third year right now, So you should get into this without waiting for anything else. Identify the course, get in touch with us or somebody else that you trust more. Get to know about universities which are offering those kinds of programs. Get to know the requirements, the documentation required. Please understand the deadlines and apply as soon as possible. Don't wait for the exams to happen. Don't wait for the results to come out. Don't even wait for the test scores. You can apply without having the test scores and submit those later. But please shortlist the courses, shortlist the universities, understand the deadlines, understand the documentation, and apply.
The only thing is ये मेरे को मतलब हमको sample चाहिए है.
I think that's about it.
मेरे को
I think that's about it. Yeah. So thank you, Rushad, and thank for joining in today. It's been wonderful to hear you. I think the students would have benefited tremendously because I was sitting through and there are a lot of things which I myself never knew. The Triple Crown is what I was wondering. I never knew about it. So there are many things which keep coming to you. I hope the students have benefited. I hope they'll be able to begin their process for the TYs who are keen to pursue international education. Not only that, it's also a way to be aware of the process, and they can join in maybe even after 3 years or 4 years of assistant manager or any level of that you are saying that they should get as an experience prior to applying for MBA. So both for masters and MBA students, please make your choices. I think this being a little lean year, it will be easier for you is what I feel. I'm not so sure. I think the experts here will know better. But being a lean year, it should be a little better for our students also to apply, the Indian students particularly. But there may be certain distance education in the beginning, which will thereafter stabilize. So thank you both of you for coming over and taking this wonderful session.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for inviting us. And thank you, students, for asking all the wonderful questions. I hope this session was helpful to you in some ways. And don't hesitate to get in touch with us. As I said, Rushad is based in Mumbai itself. He can meet you in person if you want to, and he can help you out with every query that you have.
Yes,
thank you very much.
They have shared their details on the screen. So you can take that from the office as well, or any member.
Yeah, we'll share this with Masumi also, so you can get in touch with Masumi and take our details from Masumi as well.
The IPC, that will help. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Masumi
ma'am. Have a great day. Have a great week. All the best. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you all the students as well for attending.
Thank you, students, for being there. It was lovely to see you all. You're very participative in your questions, very well thought of. So please make the most of the information that you collected. Tomorrow's session will be on GRE, GMAT, and other details. So please even come for that and see how you can make the best use of it. Masumi, have you been able to join in?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So
my network is very shaky.
We understood that, so I took it forward since I was there, and also there's an IPC host, so I guess there would be someone taking over. So maybe end this meeting then.
Yes, PM will do that. I think he's the host.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, and thank you, Masumi, again for your help. And
thank you
good
so
luck
much.
to the students as well.
Thank you, Rashad.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll be in touch. Don't worry.
Yes, we'll be in touch. Yeah, bye bye. Yeah.
All right. Good luck for the next sessions. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So I'm leaving, guys.
Yeah.
Oh.